First was the murder of Latasha Harlins in 1991. Latasha Harlins was a 15-year-old black girl who was shot by Korean business owner Soon Da-do. What happened is, on March 16th, Latasha went to Empire Liquor Store in Los Angeles to purchase some orange juice. She was in a rush and threw the $1.79 bottle of juice in her bag. Despite Harlins having the money in her hand, Do accused Harlins of stealing and grabbed her bag. After the scuffle, Harlins threw the juice bottle back on the counter, but Do shot the 15-year-old in the head. Do was arrested and put on trial. She was convicted in October 1991 by the jury based on security footage, and they recommended the maximum 16-year jail sentence for involuntary manslaughter. But the judge rejected the jury's recommendation and decided to keep Do out of prison, instead giving her 5 years probation, 400 hours of community service, and a $500 fine.
So that was the beginning.
Too white adjacent.
That was the beginning. That was the beginning. I read that. I listened to that story. The first thing that popped in my head was George Floyd. At what point did you figure that whatever this person did was so bad it was the time for execution?
This is closer to Mike Brown.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was way closer to Mike Brown.
No, I don't think
he was selling because
I kept hearing the whole. But remember, it was a counterfeit 20. Okay, so that was part of the reason for execution. So that was. Tell me which part.
No, I get you. No, I'm with you. You're with.
So yeah, so that was my thing. Was the $20 bill? You got to remember that the $20 bill was counterfeit. So that was part of execution. Same thing with this. So she put the juice on the counter. She threw the juice on the counter. She threw it all over the counter. She took the lid off and poured the orange juice over the counter. Tell me what part was it for the execution.
Yeah, what y'all ain't gonna like about this right here is it's very simple. The exchange rate on black life is not very high.
No.
The exchange value, we look at it as forms of currency. The exchange value on black life is lower than that of a dog. White people will turn America upside down. You do something to some damn dogs, a lion in the zoo, or some other shit. So if we would like to see something different, gotta raise the exchange rate. And that just means, because I mean, you ask yourself, how many black lives does it take to equal the value of one white life? That been figured out yet?
No, we haven't.
Right?
Look at the numbers of the.
You allegedly touch a white woman in an elevator in the 1920s, and you get the Tulsa massacre. Alleged. Rosewood allegedly touched a white woman, even though that was completely fabricated. Entire community burned to the ground. Here in Atlanta, Lake Lanier, I forgot the name of the city that sat below it, that it now sits on top of, allegedly touched a white woman. It was also false. City I live in, black man allegedly touched a white woman. I can't remember when it was. I think it was in the 40s. Proven false. But at that time, they let the people into the courthouse, to the jail, dragged the man outside, hung him right here in town, in the city square. I mean, people could say, well, that's all ancient history. Threaten a police officer, they'll kill you. There was a black boy some years back. He, what did he do? I think he hit the horse, the police horse. He got 10 years in prison. You got a black man in Ferguson. This is before they murdered Mike Brown. Beat the shit out this man. Charged him with bleeding on the police officer's uniform. Locked his ass up. You got the black man who just got murdered by a bunch of black cops for whatever reason we finally find out that it is, or they ever finally tell us why it actually happened. Fact remains, dead. You look at George Floyd, it took murdering the man on camera, slow motion, to get even that reaction. We still don't have a crime bill coming out of that. And had Chauvin shot George Floyd, never would have got to the point it got to. Only happened because he choked that man out in broad daylight. So, and also the shop owner you were just talking about. Oh, there's another one in New York, in a project building. This is some years ago, not very far. This is in the last five or 6 years. But there was a power outage in the hallways of the project building. 2 police officers respond to the scene. They're going up the stairs. It's dark. Black man who lives there coming down the stairs. Asian police officer gets scared, shoots the man, and murders him in the stairwell. Asian community, and in a way, I can see their point. It's jacked up, but I can see their point. Basically, was saying, how can you charge this man for killing him? You wouldn't have charged him if he was white. So
yeah, they do kind of got a point.
The exchange rate just isn't high enough, and there's only one way to even that out. But it's not in us to want to do that. We literally, it's the weirdest thing. Despite all that has been done to us, we continue to love you more than you love us or yourself. We don't even ask for retribution or revenge or anything. We ask for reparations, and half of us, not even half of us, I'm sorry, probably about 20-30% of us are so fucking brain dead that they don't even want reparations because they're afraid it'll offend good old Uncle Sugar. So we just literally, as Rodney King said when they pulled him out that truck and whooped his ass, we just want to get along. Literally. You just stop whooping our ass, stop killing our children, stop warehousing our young men, stop raping our women, stop pushing our people into the lowest wage positions you can, stop underpaying our people. When you do give them a good position, you underpay them compared to their peers, though. If you would just stop doing that shit, we'd be fine. We wouldn't even ask for reparations no more, probably. I would. But we probably would let that shit drop. If you just stop fucking with it. But you can't do it because you know, in the back of your mind, in the depth of your heart, in the forefront of your politics, in that fake-ass religion you claim, you know that if it was you, you would want revenge.
All right.